弄给阿姨他们看看，做这个。我现在在这里做花糕。
There's always something boiling, baking, steaming, or frying in my grandmother's kitchen. Every year it's something different, from rice dumplings to daikon pancakes. I love watching her cook. She's focused but relaxed, humming and singing whatever parts of a song happens to pass through her mind. As I watch, she teaches me how to spread flour evenly over rice dumplings, or the different ratios between flour and water for different foods. I always try and fail to help. This year, she was making her famous hoa gao osmanthus cakes.
A 一点点的，比较漂亮。
为什么要放红色的点？
因为过年嘛，喜气洋洋啊。红的。
When I asked her why she put red dots on each cake, she said it was because it was Chinese New Year, and the color red makes everything more festive. In Chinese, these are called fa gao. The word fa stands for prosperity, as symbolized in the flower-like top of the cake. The one place I go to every year without fail is my grandparents' fields. I've spent countless hours there, listening to my father's childhood stories, learning what fruit each tree bears, watching my grandparents pick vegetables, and helping around where I can. Every year, I follow my grandparents as they weave through the fruit trees and neat rectangles of vegetable plants, watching them work while pestering them with questions.
看不到。
对啊，它就是白白的，然后很小。
My grandfather explains to me that because they don't use pesticides, they have to be extra careful about any bugs that might be feeding off their fruit. And my grandmother shows me how to choose the mature but delicate vegetables to eat. She also shows me how to cut away the leaves surrounding the cauliflower. Every year, my father also takes me around the fields, sharing childhood stories with me. He shows me the tree he planted the day before he left Taiwan for the States for his master's degree. He also shows me the neighbor's rice fields, where he and his sisters used to look for grasshoppers and snails. He then takes me to the back of the fields where his childhood house is. He points to the old kitchen and the pigsty next to it. Behind the pigsty is the cesspit where his younger sister fell in once while playing. Standing in front of the house, he points out the different rooms and the sign above the door with our ancestral family name. After working, we sit around chatting with my granduncle and uncles who still live in the old childhood house. 旭海 Village is a small village on top of a mountain on the east of Taiwan. The village stretches along the side of the mountain road and has about 500 inhabitants who are all Taiwanese aboriginals. Xuhai is most famous for its natural hot springs, It's nature paths that lead down the mountain to the Pacific Ocean and Shuhai grassland. Because most of the inhabitants are Taiwanese Aboriginals, many tribal designs can be found, like on this pillar marking the entrance of the nature trail, and this pavilion on the top of Shuhai grassland. This building serves as the town's only restaurant, daycare, and school. Because most of the working adults of the village work in the city, which is too far away for a daily commute, many of the village children live here during the year. During the summer, I stayed at the school interacting with the students. While I was there, I taught them English, Greek mythology, and Western culture, and shared what my life was like in China. In the few days I was there, I experienced some of their traditions and what their everyday life was like. I found my experience so enjoyable that I visited again on my next trip to Taiwan during Chinese New Year. Another place I visit every year is the Kaohsiung wetlands, famous for the Taiwan black-faced spoonbills that gathered there during the winter. Rain or shine, members of the Taiwan Bird Association are there every day to observe the black-faced spoonbills and set up binoculars for other bird watchers to gaze. They also pass out booklets with information on all the birds that gather there in the winter. The platform on the edge of the wetlands is always filled with people who come to the reserve. More and more reserves are being set up, and the effort that has gone into educating the public on saving the planet is just one of the many aspects that reflects the effort Taiwan has been putting into protecting the environment.